Gentlemen. All right, guys. It's time for Rambo, right? Look at him. Ramboing. Look at his movement. He's got pretty good movement. This is the 10-minute Rambo guide. Let's see if we can actually do this in 10 minutes. Let's go. Why would you pick this character? Because war never changes, man. They're going to send you back to hell. Be prepared. All right. Character archetype. Rambo actually is one of those characters that could play like almost any archetype. He's very, very... not necessarily jack of all trades, but he's like customs of all trades. So whatever custom you build, he's going to be able to play to whatever strengths you have. Right now, I have him set as primarily a neutral, aggressive rush down grappler is what I have him set to, right? So with the abilities, we got Fubar. This is the command grab, right? That's a jab. That's a command grab. He's got that. You can amplify it, or you can jump off a fucking sword. Yeah, jump off the sword, Rambo, you fucking moron. Amplifying it keeps your position. Right? You can also switch position if you do the command grab and you amplify it. Hold on. Right. So if you hold forward, he drops him in front. If you don't hold anything, he throws him behind. You have to spend a bar to be able to make that decision. If you don't spend the bar, then he just throws them behind. But he doesn't have a whole lot of ticks, right? He's got down one that ticks. I think that's it, right? Hold on. There it is. He's got like down one that actually ticks, and then he doesn't have a whole lot. He's not really a tick throw character. For the most part, what you're doing with this command grab is just like checking their blocking with a grab that cannot be broken and ending your combos with it. Because when you end your combos with it, he gets good oki, right? Especially if they have no bar, and especially if you meter burn it to keep your positioning. The other move we have is the snare trap. It's just this, right? He just grabs you with the trap. You can amplify it, holds them in place, and then you can just do your combo. Simple, easy damage. What's really cool about this thing is when you're fighting a zoner who's just throwing shit, if you look, he ducks when he puts the trap down. So you can easily counter zoners, right? Just amplify, and then now you're in, right? Depending on your spacing. It does hit confirm off of things like back 3. So you see 3 hits, forward 1, 2. It'll combo into 3 hits, back 2, back 1. See that? It does not combo off of forward 2, 1. You see that? Is not 2 hits, right? And a lot of people try to do that because 4-2-1 has the overhead, right? So it's not that it combos, it's that it has the mix in it. All right, so you do 4-2-1, 1, bam, and it ends in an overhead, and now they have to guess between the overhead and the low. You can also end it with, you know, the mid or whatever, but it's more of a mix-up tool in that string. For the most part, everything that can hit confirm into it, that's what you're going to use for your hit confirm. And then the other strings, you're going to use it as a mix-up tool. His other special moves are pretty like self-explanatory. So he's got like the bow, right? He shoots shit. You can hold it and then let it go, right? And you can kind of keep shooting him, right? If you just do it fast enough, he just keeps going. You can hold it and then cancel it, and he puts it back. It's not a good tool, right? That's kind of gimmicky to try and pressure people with. But if your opponent is being passive, you can definitely go for that and fuck with them. Just know that it's interruptible and that it's not a good idea. And then he's got the Aaron Black slide, right? You can actually hold it down and he rolls away. If you meter burn it, he gets an extra hit and then rolls away. If you hit a certain number of them, then he gets a crushing blow, right? If you hit 3 amplified ones, he gets a crush. And then he's got the whip trap, right? This covers a lot of space, and this is his primary zoning tool and counter zoning tool, because again, just like this, he ducks to do it, right? And if you're over here far away, he has another one. He only has 2 of these traps, but they cover so much space that that's really the only thing you need, right? The only space it doesn't cover is like right in front of him. Oh, it actually does hit right in front of him, because the trap swings out, right? So the hitbox on the trap goes like that. So if they're standing where the thing is swinging the other way, they won't get hit. Just keep that in mind. It's not something that comes in, it's not something that is a problem often, but it is something that you'll want to be aware of. Now, important moves. Rambo doesn't have like a huge command list, but his moves are all very, very important. Most important one is going to be forward 1, right? So if you look at forward 1's frame data, it's really good. It's 11 frame mid. Oh my God. And then he's got follow-ups off of this shit, right? Forward 1-2 and forward 1-2-2, right? Forward 1-2. 11 frame, 2 hit confirmable advancing mid. Like, this shit is good, right? You can do all kinds of stuff. That combos, this combos, right? You can fucking do all kinds of shit. And then he's got the follow-up, which is forward 1-2-2. This move, okay, it's a 3-hit launcher, right? But it's confirmable. Do not do that last hit unless you are guaranteed to hit that. Now, you can equip a grab and play 50-50 games. Both of those options are unsafe no matter what anyways. But if you look at this string, forward 1-2-2 is minus 30 on block. This move is more negative than Scorpion's teleport. That's how unsafe this is. So if you guys are sitting there saying, oh, scrub-ass Scorpion's doing teleport, I'm just going to punish him. Scrub-ass Rambos do this string, I'm just going to punish him. Do not do this last hit unless you are absolutely 100% sure it is going to hit, because you will pay for it if you are wrong. All right? Next most important move is going to be back 1, right? You look at back 1's frame data. It is an 18-frame mid, but it's a nice advancing mid, right? So it's a little slow, but it advances pretty hard. And after a jail, right, after you down 1 jail, right, it's a frame trap. So down 1 is 13 frames, right? That gives them a 5-frame gap to press a button, and that's how you start fishing for counter hits with this thing. Now, you don't get anything off of a counter hit, but it is something that you can sit there and use as a read, right? I do down 1, I do back 1, it's a 5-frame gap, right? Plus 13, my move starts out in 18 frames. 5-frame gap, there is nothing that can interrupt this. Oh, look, that back 1 counter hit. Oh, he likes to mash. I'm going to punish him for mashing. That's how you build your strategy with that. All right, so it's a decent frame trap. And you got back 2-1, back 1-2-1. Again, we already talked about it ends with an overhead, so you can kind of go for gimmicks there and get that low. You're death on block if you do that shit. Whereas if you end it with the overhead, you're -7. So this is the safe option. You want to condition. You do back 1-2-1 like 10 times. On the 11th time, you go for the low. Because now they've blocked the overhead 10 times and they're looking for the overhead, right? Don't just go right into the low option. And people always do this shit. Oh, I'm going to be sneaky, man. They're never going to see it coming. They always see it coming. Don't do that shit. You're going to die, okay? Do the safe option. Then when you have confirmed that they have blocked the safe option passively a couple of times, then you go for the mix-up. Your mix-up is a nuclear option. I've said this a million times. Don't do it unless you're willing to die for it, all right? Next most important move, forward 2. This thing has like ridiculous range, and it's very, very slow. And this is a very good move to use to open up people that like to flawless block, right? So you do it like it happens all the time, right? You do a poke, they poke you back, right? They do a down 1, you go to down 1 and back, and then they fucking flawless block you, and you get taken for a ride. So in situations where you know your opponent's going to flawless block, you can do that, right? So I block a down poke, and then I block a down poke, he's going to flawless block. Yeah, fuck you, dude. You missed your opportunity, and now you got to hold this. And again, like I said, there are mix-ups involved with this string, right? So you got forward 2-1-1, ends with overhead, bam, okay? And 4-2-1-1, -10 on block, so on the edge of unsafe. You also have 4-2-1-4, doesn't end in an overhead, but it's like entirely safe, right? Do this kick, knocks him back on hit, but on block, you're at -4. There's not a whole lot they can do about it, but you do have to hold it, so you're either going to block, backdash, or fish for a flawless block, right? But this move, like I said, you actually want to use this in a situation where you want something really slow. I know that I say that like 11 frame, 10 frame mids are like the fucking greatest shit, but there are certain situations where you're fighting someone that's good at flawless block where you want to use these slow moves to throw off their timing, bait the flawless block whiff, and then punish them. All right? That's enough out of that string. The next in string is back 2. Back 2 is fucking godlike. This is actually one of Rambo's better strings. So it's like 11 frame startup, same thing as forward 1. Doesn't advance very far, right? You see this has a lot more range than this. But what's good about back 2 is he's got more options off of it. So when you do forward 1, like all you're doing is forward 1 and then hoping that they die, right? But this you can do back 2-2, stagger it, go for grab setups, or back 2, or back 2-2, stagger it again, go for it again. And then he's got 2 follow-up options. He's got back 2-2-1 and back 2-2-4, right? So if you do back 2-2-4, boom, this is like the safe combo ender. So if I launch him, right? If I launch him and I do this, if they break away, I'm relatively safe to that. If I launch him and I do this, they can break away and get out and punish me. So when you're using this in combo filler, keep aware of what your opponent's meter is, right? But back 2-2-4 is -1 on block. Back 2-2-1 -11. So it's not necessarily the safest string. You want to be careful throwing that out. -11, again, is on the cusp of punishment. Unless your opponent is really, really on point with their punishment, at best they'll get like a down 1. But if you're fighting an animal, this one's going to hurt, so be careful throwing it out there. But it's always good to have multiple advancing 11-frame mids. That's never going to be bad. All right? Next important string is going to be back 3. This is like your godlike fucking stagger, right? So when you do back 3, right, on stagger, it's -6. It's -1 on hit. So you don't, like, they're actively punishing you for using this as a stagger because it's so good as a stagger, right? Because he's got so many options off of this. You can sit there, down 1, do that, and then go into this shit, right? Like, it's so good as a stagger. It's only -6 on block, so it's not like they can punish you for it. And if you do the full string, back 3-3, so you're -7, it's relatively safe, and it confirms, right? So you have a 2-hit hit confirm to go into a combo extender, or something like that, right? Easy enough, back 3. Good hit confirm. If you have the grab variation custom move equipped, you have more follow-ups off that. You have another grab that restands them, but that's not in this build. This is just a really good really good hit confirm. It's a slower on the mid scale, right? It's a 12-frame startup, but that's not bad. 12 frames is not bad, especially when you're peppering them with all these really fast mids. They may start looking for flawless blocking. So having that 2-frame slower mid that you can also throw out there is actually really good to punish your opponent for flawless blocking. Because if they let go of block to flawless block, and then they try to hit the up 2, because that's what they practice, the timing, this is going to catch them. They're going to be about 2 frames off, and they're going to get caught, and then you can hit confirm for a full combo. His last most important move is this shit. He's got that. It's an overhead. There's nothing more to say. If you've played Aaron Black, you know how that move works. Forward 4, overhead. Stop blocking low. Relatively safe, right? Relatively. -11. It's like, what's the pushback on this shit? Let me see the pushback. All right. Yeah, there are very few characters that are going to punish that at 11 frames, so don't worry about that too much. It is kind of on the slow end of the spectrum, right? 19-frame startup, but it is a big-ass overhead. And if you hit them twice in a row, you get a crushing blow. And if they try to break away from your combo, right, you'll see sit like this, right? You do that, right? Bam, boom. If they break away, they get hit, right? Simple. Now, your important range for Rambo is going to be about right here, right? Range 2. Range 2 to get into here. So granted, it's obvious with all his mids and his grabs and things like that. He wants to be, or at least this build wants to be played at range 1. But I say start at range 2. Start here, right? Remember, the range you want to play at is always the range where your farthest advancing move is going to whiff, right? So I'm going to play this from over here because this will whiff, and then I can catch whiff punishes on them trying to approach, right? And then once I get that all-important hit, I can just go in to range 1 and be stupid. But you really want to play Rambo from range 2 and work your way into range 1. And note that if you're at range 3 or 4, like you got this shit, you know, you're not helpless. You're not helpless. You have moves. But yeah, range 2, this is where you want to be, right? Right where shit is going to start whiffing, so you can bait those whiff punishes and get your opponent entering your space and blowing them up. But that's the Rambo guide. We are at 13 minutes, so this one is actually pretty close to a 10-minute guide. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your mom that my phone number, because like she isn't returning my calls, and I'm starting to think that she just doesn't like me anymore.